afternoon. This press conference is called so that we can alert the citizens of Chatham County as to what we are putting in place as of noon today. We go into emergency action, and so going into emergency actions, we do the command policy group is who you're looking at. Those are us who gather around the table to determine where we're going, what we're doing, and how we're going to get the message out to the to citizens of Chatham County. We're asking you to be aware of what's going on, and I think that you're going to find out when Director Jones comes right after me. The biggest problem that we're going to have is flooding in the water. All right, the rain comes, it's going to be a steady, slow thing, and it may increase to where areas that normally did not flood will flood, and so we're going to make provisions for that. Director Jones.
Good afternoon, everyone. As the chairman mentioned, we are in emergency operations mode. At noon today, the chairman did issue a local state of emergency for Chatham County. It is in effect as of noon today, and it continues until Friday. So this does put in many of the emergency protective measures that allows us to move assets throughout the county as needed, regardless of jurisdiction. It also allows us to tap into statewide resources to come in and assist Chatham County as needed. The governor did issue a state of emergency for the entire state of Georgia yesterday, which also frees up a lot of the assets in order to be able to help coastal Georgians as this storm does approach. As the chairman mentioned, the majority or the primary threat for this particular event is going to be rainfall. And we are talking about an unprecedented level of rain that we haven't seen in this area in a very, very, very long time. This system is forecast to become a hurricane before it makes landfall on the Florida Peninsula, move across Florida into Georgia, and then there are predictions that once it reaches us, it'll be a tropical storm, and they are expecting it to stall off of our coast or just south of us. As it stalls, it's going to increase the amount of rainfall that we could potentially see in Chatham County. Again, we're talking about unprecedented levels of rainfall, which will create unprecedented flooding potential throughout our community. We are talking of a very large amount of rain in a very short period of time, but over a 4-day period, we could see upwards of 20 inches of rain just in our area, which this is 2 to 3 times the normal amount of rainfall that you would see in a month, that occurring in a 4-day period. So very, very dangerous situation. There's going to be a lot of areas around the county that could potentially become isolated. So we are monitoring that situation. We are making sure that we know what those areas are, and we're making sure that we're communicating with those communities to ensure that they have awareness and they are ready to react to that. As far as this being a tropical storm, it's not so much of a significant wind event for us. As it reaches landfall on the Florida Peninsula and comes across Florida and into Georgia, it starts to die. A lot of the energy for a hurricane comes from the warm waters over the Gulf or the Atlantic. So once it starts coming on land, it starts to die. So as it comes across the state of Florida, state of Georgia, it'll be reduced down to what they're anticipating tropical storm force winds for us. Now, these are weak tropical storm force winds. Again, sometimes we see gusts up to tropical storm force winds during severe thunderstorms. So that's not something that is totally unique to this storm, and it's not something that is foreign to Chatham County. We see that a few times a year throughout the year. So the rainfall, again, is the most unprecedented and also the most dangerous areas of this particular storm. We are looking at the rainfall to begin sometime tomorrow, with the majority of the rainfall occurring overnight Monday into Tuesday. So again, that's the significant part that we're looking at. Depends on how long that system stalls off our coast, will depend on how long it's going to rain for our community. But right now they are expecting it to continue to rain through Thursday, so which is going to produce, again, those high levels of flooding and high levels of rainfall throughout our community. What we've done to prepare, we've been working through the Emergency Operations Center all day today. We've actually started working this storm back on Wednesday of last week. But today we've had staff in the Emergency Operations Center. We've done 9 conference calls today with a variety of different partners, including state and federal partners as well. So we are in a position as best we can be right now. So we are activating our Emergency Operations Center tomorrow. We're bringing in quite a few staff, particularly from Public Works, from all the municipalities, to come in, work the Emergency Operations Center so we can ensure that we have full situational awareness throughout the community. We've been talking with Georgia Department of Transportation. They are not anticipating closing the Talmadge Bridge. That's one question that everybody has. So they're not anticipating closing the Talmadge Bridge, but if conditions worsen to the fact that they need to do that, they will do so at the time. If any citizens need to report any road or bridge issues, they can do that through the DOT's 511 system. The airport is not planning any operational tempo changes at the moment. The airlines may do so. That's completely independent of the airport, but the airport will stay open to support any airline traffic that comes in or out. We do have a member of Chatham Area Transit here today. I'll defer to him on questions regarding CAT. We've also been in contact with Public Health. We have a member of Public Health here today. Dr. Rustin is here with us. He can answer any questions regarding public health if there are any. There's been a lot of questions about sandbags. The communities that are providing sandbags, Garden City is making some decisions. I believe they're offering sandbags tomorrow. The City of Pooler will be offering sandbags. Port Wentworth is offering sandbags. The City of Savannah is offering sandbags at 4 locations. Thunderbolt is discussing. We'll have some more information from them soon. Tybee Island is offering sandbags, and the county will be offering sandbags as well. We're putting the conditions and the logistics in place in order to do that. So we are also looking at swiftwater rescue efforts. We are having a coordination meeting with all of our swiftwater rescue assets in Chatham County and also the state. We're doing that tomorrow morning in case we have to implement any swiftwater rescue efforts starting Monday, Tuesday. We have a member of Georgia Power here today. He's going to offer a few statements about Georgia Power's posture. We've been in contact with all of our law enforcement entities throughout the community. Some of those are standing behind me. They are ready to go. We've been disseminating information through our public information team, and we'll continue to do that throughout the duration of the storm. Damage assessment, one thing that we always have to look at as soon as the damages start occurring in Chatham County, we got to keep real-time situational awareness on what our damages are throughout the community, because the state wants to know that almost immediately. So we'll be monitoring throughout the community, making sure that we're communicating with all of our municipalities to ensure we're keeping situational awareness on damages. We've also talked with our pet partners throughout the community to make sure if there's any pet rescues that we can also address those as needed. So again, I want to reiterate how important everyone understands that this is an unprecedented event. You notice I mentioned that several times. We have not seen this amount of rainfall in our area in my history here. I've been with the county for 26 years now. We haven't seen this level of rainfall in my history with the county. So there was an interesting statistic from the National Weather Service earlier today, and they reported that this is a 0.1% chance. 0.1% chance of this occurring in any given year. That's the equivalent of a 1,000-year storm. Okay, so a 1% chance of this occurring in any given year. So again, rainfall is the predominant threat. It should start coming in sometime tomorrow, with the heavy threat coming in overnight Monday, early Tuesday, and then depending on when that storm stalls and where it stalls will really determine how much flooding and how much rainfall we will get on Wednesday and Thursday, possibly into Friday. Okay? So with that, I'd like to turn it over to Dr. Watts from the school board for a public statement from her.
Thank you so much. Based on the most current information from the Chatham Emergency Management Agency and the National Weather Association, the current track of the storm is expected to bring very dangerous weather conditions to our area. And out of abundance of caution for our students and staff, we will be closing school on Tuesday and Wednesday of this week Again, due to the expected impacts of the tropical storm on our area, the Savannah Chatham County Public Schools will operate on a closed schedule for staff and students on Tuesday and Wednesday. On Monday, which is tomorrow, August the 5th, Monday remains a regular work day for staff, but a half day for our students. Again, tomorrow will remain a full work day for staff, but a half day for students. We strongly encourage families and employees to follow our websites and social media for up-to-date information. Supervisors of staff, please use discretion with leave requests to support staff who may experience child care issues or other unique circumstances resulting from early influences of the oncoming storm. Once again, all buildings and district facilities will be closed for in-person activities on Tuesday and Wednesday, and tomorrow will be a half day for our students. I would like to thank all of our municipalities and elected officials. They have guided us and helped us make this collective decision, and it is through partnership and collaboration that we will get through this together. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Watts. I am getting real-time updates from partners throughout the community. I'll provide those as I'm introducing the next team member. I did get a message from Judge Friesman with the courthouse. The courthouse will open at 8 a.m. tomorrow. Any courthouse closure decisions will be made tomorrow morning, and this includes juvenile court. Okay, so that's the latest from the courts. Now I'd like to invite up the mayor of the city of Savannah, Mr. Johnson.
Thank you. Thank you, Dennis, and Mr. Chairman, Mr. Kegler. Glad to have with me my city manager, Jay Melder, assistant city manager, Heath Lloyd, Savannah Police Chief, Lenny Gunther, and as well as Savannah Fire Chief, LZ Kitchens, and our public information team. I was reminded in church today that there are times that man ought to always pray, and this is one of them. This is one of them. This is going to be a significant storm. The word historic cannot be underscored here. At noon today, I declared a local state of emergency that will allow the city manager and I to execute emergency management plans and to provide and procure the necessary resources brought on by Tropical Storm Debby. If the city of Savannah receives the historic forecast of anticipated rainfall, parts of our city will flood. To put this in perspective, normally we'll handle between 2 and 2.5 inches of rainfall per hour, and we're equipped to be able to do that. We're already low-lying land. Last week we received 6 inches, and you saw what we had. And now we're talking about 10 to 20 inches. 10 to 20 inches. This could be severe. This could be catastrophic. And I don't want to even play with any words or mince any words here about how significant this is. I think Dennis talked about a once-in-millennia storm. So very, very significant. City crews are out in advance to flood-prone areas throughout the city, and they're preparing as we speak. And I encourage all citizens to be ready. Make sure you have everything you need now. Do not wait until the last minute, and prepare for the worst-case scenario. If you don't need to drive, stay home. Stay home. And don't think you can make it. If you have to think whether you can make it, you have not made it. We may not be in a position to rescue you. We'll be providing sandbags and sand today from 3 to 6 at the following locations. Parking lot of the Market Arena on Stiles Avenue, Savannah Fire Station 8 on B Road, Savannah Fire Station 7 at Sally Moo Drive, Savannah Fire Station 15 at Grove Point Road. 311 is up and ready to handle calls. Our police precincts will be fully staffed, and they are already deploying road signage in intersections that we know tend to flood. We ask you to help our friends at 911, limit your calls to emergencies only. We want to make sure that the resources are available to those who need them. If you encounter a hazard, stay away from it. All of Savannah Fire, Stations, equipment, department personnel are prepped for severe weather response. River Street parking lots will be closed due to the low elevation and likelihood of impacts from heavy rain, and residents are urged not to attempt to park in these areas. We encourage City of Savannah employees to call 1-833-251-6020 for updates on city operations, and we are committed to staying up and awake and engaged in this. This is what our team looks like in our community. We wear different jerseys, but when it comes down to it, we're all on the same team. And so we thank the county, we thank CEDA and their leadership. We're all in this together. We'll be wet through this together, but we'll get through this together.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. One thing the mayor mentioned that I wanted to reiterate is people driving through flooded areas, not only driving through flooded areas, but walking through flooded areas. There's a lot of hazards associated with flooded roads, flooded areas, and we want to make sure that people are as safe as possible. One of the number one calls that 911 gets during significant flooding events is people walking through or driving through an area, their car stalls, or they step on a nail, they step in a hole, and now it's a medical situation or it's a rescue situation. So all of our citizens throughout the community, they can help mitigate that by just simply avoiding those flooded areas. If you think you can walk through it, please think again. You don't know what's underneath the surface of that water. We really want to encourage you to be as safe as possible. It would help us streamline emergency operations throughout the community and allow us to really focus on those issues where we need to do significant water rescues. So we encourage you to heed that warning. Next, I'd like to invite up the mayor for the city of Pooler, Ms. Williams.
Thank you. Good afternoon. The city of Pooler has and will initiate a state of emergency effective at 5 p.m. today, effective through Friday afternoon. I want you to know that our city staff and emergency operations teams have been working all weekend to make sure our culverts and our drainage ditches are clear and able to handle what water we can. But I want it to be known that it doesn't matter how good your drainage system is in any of these cities, they can only hold so much. That's what everybody up here is trying to stress. This is going to be unprecedented. So it does not matter how well you could have the best drainage system in the world. It can only do so much. Know that the city of Pooler is working with this entire command group policy, and I have with me today our interim city manager, Matt Saxon, who has been on top of everything with me since early this morning, and we will do everything that we can to get through this, and we will get through this together. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor Williams. Mayor Williams brought up a good point about sewage. Everything has to have somewhere to go. And when our grounds are saturated, our water networks are saturated, where to go is very, very limited. So please be mindful of that as well. Mayor Johnson just reminded me to talk about pets, not only pets, but animals in general. When you got significant flooding throughout the community, those animals are looking for places that are high and dry. So you'll see some critters that are in an area that they normally wouldn't be in. Snakes, spiders, alligators. So they're looking for some dry land as well. So be mindful of that. And we want everybody to be very, very safe out there. We also have the mayor of Garden City here today. He just wanted me to reiterate that he's following suit with the rest of the decisions for the command policy group. So the city of Garden City will be in lockstep with us as well. We also have a city or a member of the Chatham Area Transit here today. I'm going to invite him up to talk about CAT operations.
Thank you and good afternoon. At CAT, as always, our intention is to provide transportation to our communities as long as we are safely able to do so. That's the key concept for us, safety. So moving into tomorrow, we will be having internal meetings early in the morning to discuss what the day is going to look like as far as our operations. Our intention is to be very open with the public and to keep those updates coming on our social media, on our website. However, pending conditions, our expectation is that we will suspend service at some point Monday afternoon or Monday evening.
Thank you, sir.
Can you say spell your first last name?
Oh, yes. First name Sam, S-A-M. Last name Kennedy, K-E-N-N-E-D-Y.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sam. We've also been in contact with Savannah State and Georgia Southern. They have not made any decisions as of this point, which is why I really haven't announced anything from those two colleges. But we are in communication with Savannah State and Georgia Southern. As we know more information, we'll put those out through our public information team. Finally, to wrap it up, before I turn it back over to the chairman, I would like to ask up Mr. William Mock from Georgia Power for any Georgia Power statements.
Good afternoon. I'd just like to say that Georgia Power continues to evaluate the latest forecast and expectations for not only our area, but also Southeast Georgia, and making plans to respond accordingly. Safety is our #1 priority. I would encourage anyone who comes across any type of downed wire or any type of electrical issue to please do not approach. Please report the outage. You can do so via georgiapower.com/storm or on our outage, and continue to monitor us through social media.
Thank you, sir. And my apologies to Dr. Rustin from Public Health. I would like to invite him up to offer some statements on Public Health's position.
Thanks, Dennis. As mentioned earlier, we're lock and step working with the county and city leadership in supporting our partners. As has been said repeatedly, I just want to reiterate, not driving in stormwater and floods, not walking in floods, has been mentioned many times. You certainly don't know what's been below your feet. Our operations non-essential staff will be suspended tomorrow around noon. Essential staff will still be working. All patient appointments will be canceled in the afternoon, Tuesday and Wednesday, and we'll be reassessing and reassigning those patients' appointments as we get into a safer time period. If you are homebound, if you have medical needs in your homes, if you use equipment that requires power, we strongly recommend to be planning for that now. If you're oxygen dependent, to make sure you have extra oxygen on hand, so be calling your oxygen suppliers so you have those on hand now, because we do anticipate there's going to be potential power outages related to this. We want everyone to be prepared in the event that there's obviously an emergency. Emergency services and 311 will be available for those calls. Thank you.
Let me do this way. Let me ask the media if you have questions for any one of us, all right? And we'll answer those questions, and then I'll come back and make the final statement. Any questions from any?
I have a question for any of the elected leaders, yourself, Mr. Ellis, Mr. Johnson. Y'all reiterated several times about how serious this storm is going to be. Does this scare y'all as people that have been here in Savannah before, that have never really seen something like this? I saw many of your eyes kind of widen when Dennis Jones said 1,000-year storm.
Well, being prepared and ready is better than not being prepared and not ready. And what we are emphasizing is being ready. We can't predict with certainty exactly what's going to happen, but we do know in Chatham County we have low-lying areas. We do know, for instance, and Mayor Johnson can come up, we do know that in certain areas of Savannah, the water's coming, all right? Knowing that what the National Weather Service is telling us, knowing that what FEMA and GEMA, all right, along with SEMA is telling us, all right, we are preparing for that. And by being prepared, we can do more to help our citizens. Am I scared of it? No, I'm just getting prepared for it so that we'll know how we need to respond. What we don't want to do is get folks into a situation where they need assistance, whether that's the quick water rescue or whether that's, whatever it is, and then we not being able to respond. But with the resources that we have at our hands, from the governor declaring the state of emergency, all right, then the county and then all the municipalities as well, now we are able to put resources in place so that we can cover what we need to do with this. Have we seen it before? No. All right. Based upon what the predictions are, who knows what a 10-foot swell is like. All right. We used to dealing with 7 or 8, but now we're dealing with 10. We used to dealing with 2 feet, but now we're dealing with 10 or more It could go up to 20. And so don't be scared. Just be ready to deal with it, is what I would say. Anyone else want to speak to that? Come on.
I've worked storms in this community for 30 years. Every single storm for the last 30 years. And this scares me because in our playbook, we know how to deal with storm surge. We know what that looks like. We know what high winds look like. We really don't know what a once in a millennia storm looks like in terms of water. We've always modeled that if we were hit by Category 3, that most of our city would be underwater. We just know where the lying areas are. And, you know, to look at not only this event, but the events we've had over the last couple of weeks with just constant rain. And I've seen where trees have been lifted out of the roots because the grounds are just saturated. We have not had a chance for it to really dry up yet. I'm confident in the team that's assembled. I mean, obviously we have the best minds and best hearts in the community and certainly across the country working with us with this. But I think that we should not treat this as if it's another rainy day. It's not a rainy day. And to me, individuals, particularly if you don't have to go outside, don't. Let's not make you the test case of whether Savannah Fire can rescue you or not, because you're putting their lives at risk as well. Our goal in this to have is less casualties, just using that word, of people and property as possible. And so it's important for us to make sure we are able to address this. If you have to get gas, get gas. You have medication, get your medication, because we just don't know what it looks like. But we're meeting and we'll continue to meet, and then certainly we'll adjust as need be. You know, I've seen times where we thought something big was coming and it didn't. But there are times we didn't think nothing big was coming and it did. So.
Are there plans for the city or the county to establish any sort of curfew to keep people inside, to keep people away from these dangerous areas?
That's on the table for the city of Savannah. So we're talking about what that would look like. And so as we go by, we'll see what it is. Again, the goal of this is just to help keep people off the streets, protect them from themselves.
That's a part of what the command policy group does, all right? That will be a decision we make collectively so that we don't have some people going on curfew and some people not. If we're going on curfew, then we're going to do it countywide, all right? Because we know you can step on one side of the street and you in Pooler, on the other side you in unincorporated Chatham, or you in Savannah. So therefore, we don't need to get to that line of demarcation, but keep everything steady and on the same move. So it is on the table for the command policy group to discuss and to determine what we need to do. If the city of Savannah do it, then we'll do it all over the county. All right? Any other? None?
I've got a question for Dr. Watts. You mentioned that students will have a half day tomorrow, staff will be working a full day. Are supervisors going to be a little flexible with allowing folks to maybe call out or work from home if they need to, beyond, childcare, just not being able to get to work?
Absolutely. We are asking our supervisors to use that flexibility. We do know that some of the surrounding counties, school districts have called school off tomorrow, and that could potentially have impact as it relates to childcare. So yes, we want to give our supervisors the utmost flexibility as they work with staff, and how what they allow tomorrow in terms of being at work.
And there are no plans to do like a virtual learning or anything Tuesday, Wednesday for students?
Yes, we are in day 2 of school, very early in the school year. Devices have not been issued in many cases, and we haven't oriented our students and families to our learning platforms. So we're just not poised to do e-learning right now.
Thank you. Forgot about that.
Yes.
Well, one of the things you can say is that normally things don't come this early, all right? So here's early for us. And so some of these decisions have to be made as we move along, as we go. And so those kind of things will come to us. And lastly, let me say I wanted you all to know, all the citizens of Southeast Georgia to know, just before I came out, I received email from Senator Warnock, Senator Ossoff, as well as from the Vice President's office, all right, asking us to please make sure that we are safe, all right? And we want to say to this general public throughout Chatham County. If you want me to tell you exactly what's going to happen, there's no way. I don't know. But I do know that the better prepared we are, the better we can endure this. We will get through this, all right, because we don't know what's on the horizon, but we will get through tomorrow. So, again, let me thank all of the command policy for being here. And I was teasing them just before we came out. Chatham County Fire Department is a new baby for them, all right, but they are in the fight with us, okay? All right, now, with that, unless someone has something, yes.
I do.
Sure.
Keep asking some questions.
No.
I wanted to ask the chiefs, fire and police. Can we talk about staffing a little bit? What's the plan? Are y'all going to be full bore, everyone's on the clock, or is that still kind of up in the air for both Chatham County Police, Savannah Police, and Chatham County Fire and Savannah Fire?
Come on, let me invite y'all. Come on up.
Public safety folks.
Well, in terms of Chatham County Police Department, anytime we have a critical issue to occur within our jurisdiction, we staff up. That means no one goes home. That's allocated to critical workforce. So our officers have already been notified that they're on standby. There's no leave at this time. They will, in fact, be working throughout until this situation resolves itself.
And that's effective immediately?
Yes.
Gotcha. Thank you, Chief.
For Chatham County Fire Department, we're basically following suit with them. Personnel have already been notified, and we're standing up additional resources for water rescue.
Now, for you in particular, this being a new department, I know none of y'all are really new to firefighting per se, but this is a new department, new policies. Has that changed anything in the way that y'all have prepared this year?
I would have to say no. All of our resources came over, so we're going to respond just as we normally do.
Thank you, Chief.
Hey, good afternoon. I'll parallel exactly what Chief Tolbert said. Right now, the Savannah Police Department, in partnership with my peer, Chief Kitchens, we're in a posture of readiness. And as conditions get worse, we'll move into prevention. Our ultimate goal is to keep our city safe during this event and prevention, and then we'll move into rescue if we have to, and then recovery as time goes on. But in terms of staffing, we are ready to pull everyone in, most likely about 6 a.m. tomorrow, to go into what we call an Alpha Bravo shift, to have all our resources on deck and to keep our city safe.
And Chief, for you, what's your message to the hundreds of cops, the support staff that work for you as they're about to get into this? This is going to be dangerous. They're going to be wet. They're not going to have a lot of fun. This is going to be some serious stuff over the next few days. What's your message to your officers?
This is what we do. This is what we signed up for. Our primary mission is to keep our city safe, keep our citizens safe, but in the same vein, we want to be safe too. I want them to make sure that their families and loved ones and pets are safe, so allowing them time to prepare so they feel ready to come to work in a sound mind. So of course, give them that space to make sure things are done and straight at the house. But again, this is our mission, this is what we do, and we're fully prepared to do that.
Thank you, Chief.
Thank you.
Go ahead.
So Savannah Fire, we're ready for this. Savannah Fire, we have swiftwater teams staffed daily. All our members are at least trained to awareness of swiftwater, our operations. We will be standing up additional swiftwater teams to help throughout the county, but we're ready for this. We train for this daily. And we also put out a message to staff to make sure they take care of themselves and family.
Now, as far as those swiftwater rescues, do you have an idea of how many teams are going to be out and about throughout the county, or perhaps just?
So I don't know how many throughout the county, but we will at least Savannah will have 6 teams. Now, I do know the state has also staged 2 teams in Statesboro, which is this GSAR search and water rescue teams.
Thank you, Chief.
Yeah.
I do want to speak on behalf of the Board of Education Police Department. Just like any emergency, we're here to support all of our municipalities. We'll be coordinating through SEMA, through the Emergency Operations Center. Where there's a need, we will be there. It is all of us working together. As our superintendent likes to say, together we can. I'm quite sure we're going to manage through this crisis like any other crisis that we've had in the past. Thank you.
And what's BOE-PD's kind of role in all this? Are y'all going to be protecting school property, or are y'all going to be kind of assisting other law enforcement?
It's always asset protection. Our goal is to work through SEMA and all the many resources, because we realize that our school system is at the very core of this community. And so we want to make sure that every opportunity that we have to mitigate something, to respond to it as fast as we can, so when this storm passes, we can get our schools up and running as soon as possible.
Thank you, Chief.
I would be remiss if I did not mention the other police and fire entities who are not represented here today. We have been in contact with Bloomingdale, Pooler, Port Wentworth, Garden City, Tybee Island, the Sheriff's Office, and they are all equally prepared. My confidence level in our public safety community is just off the chart. They always call, they always answer the phone when I call. They're always willing to support in whatever capacity is needed. They're always willing to cross jurisdictional boundaries if they need to. So I'm very, very confident in our public safety response effort.
Williams, you wanted to say something?
I would just like to ask our interim city manager, Matt Saxon, to come up and speak about Pooler's emergency response teams.
Thank you, Mayor. As the other chief said, interim city manager, but our police and fire are prepared. I mean, they've got their crews all working. They're ready. We do have shifts sitting by on standby, so we can call them in when they're needed. But thank y'all.
And lastly, let me say this. When we declare a state of emergency for the county becomes one, all right? It's not Pooler Fire, Port Wentworth Fire, or City of Savannah Fire. It's when we, from the SEMA office, where we determine we need those resources, that's where they go, all right? And so you'll find that even like, for instance, in our regular operations thing, whenever one jurisdiction needs help from another, we are there. So in this case, we run it through so that we meet all the mandates that that the state and the nation gives us, so that we stay within FEMA and GEMA guidelines. So wherever those sort of resources are needed, they will be deployed, all right, and they will carry out the water rescue or whatever kind of other rescue we need, all right? But we're just asking citizens now to use good sense, all right? You may think you can drive that small car through that water hole, but we're going to have to come and pull you out of there because the car is going to stop running and start floating. All right, and so we want to keep that away from there, especially with our senior community. We want to make sure that they are comfortable and they're safe where they are, and they have all their medications and things because if power go out, just like you don't have power at your house, the pharmacy may not have power, or we may not have power based upon, we've got generators and things that kicked in, but again, this is more water than we're used to getting. All right, so we want you to be prepared. All right, thank you all, and we thank the Command Policy Group for coming together, and we will stay in touch throughout this whole ordeal, and we'll let you know when we can lighten up. But right now, we're getting ready to tighten down. Thank you all, and have a blessed day.